During his campaign, Joe Biden's promised to raise taxes on the wealthy and corporations and to invest heavily in infrastructure and clean energy if he wins the election. So what does it all mean for our economy? Anthony Scaramucci joins us now, a former White House communications director. Anthony, good morning. Welcome. Great of you to be here. So I just have one question. Sandra. I mean, Anthony, you and I spent a lot of the election cycle back in 2016 together. And how does Anthony Scaramucci support raising the corporate tax?
Well, it's a combination of things. You know, Anthony Scaramucci supports patriotism and the institutions of our democracy and the rule of law in the country and not trying to subvert that. I also support science and not fictitious things or politicizing the use of masks or trying to fire somebody inside the federal government that's been there for 36 years that's trying to protect the American people.
But you and I have a past of talking about the economy, and back when you supported Donald Trump in 2016, you made very clear that a reason people should vote for Donald Trump was his view on corporate taxes.
It's your show.
No, but by supporting Joe Biden, are you supporting that?
Well, of course I'm supporting that because we have to remove Mr. Trump so that we can save the country from the pandemic. You cannot cure the economic ills of the country if you let the virus rage in 47 states. So we're going to work on the virus and then we'll work on the economy. I'll just remind everybody, when the Bush administration transitioned into the Obama administration, it was a pretty good economy. The Federal Reserve is not changing its policies, and so therefore that's the reason why the stock market's up. If the vice president, which I predict will win tomorrow, is a 90% chance of winning. The market is up. The betting markets are with Joe Biden. So the consensus is that he's going to be way better for the economy. Don't go by me. Look at the J.P. Morgan study, the Goldman Sachs study, or the Moody's study.
I had the Goldman Sachs.
Just go by them if you don't want to go by me.
But to be clear,
step one, heal the virus.
Hold on. Goldman Sachs, to be clear, so our audience knows, talks about the initial stimulus, the initial spur of money and investment that would go into the system and how that would trigger an economic boom. But years down the line, Goldman Sachs said that all the cost of that would outweigh the benefits. So you have to take that all into consideration. Put it in, hold on,
Sandra, come on, look at the cost now. You're running a $3.5 trillion budget deficit. You know, this is not a conservative president. I mean, if anybody thinks this is conservatism, what book are they reading? Let's take a chill for 1 second. Okay, Moody's is calling for 7.5. Sandra, Moody's is saying that there'll be 7.5 million additional jobs under the Biden program than the Trump program. But the president already knows he's going to lose. Okay, the way he's campaigning,
timing's everything.
Over the next 4 years.
Makes that very clear that does not happen quickly. Here's Bidenomics. Here's the Wall Street Journal editorial board. They give us their take. Bidenomics failed the first time. Claims that he'll spur growth, ignore that his policies are a repeat of the stagnant Obama years. Anthony, I ask you this because you are a big
with all due respect
guy.
to you. Sandra, the market is telling you something, okay? The market is rallying off a Biden victory. The market recognizes that we have to heal the country. The president has made us weaker, sicker, and poorer as a nation, okay? And you got to get the science right on this thing so that we can tamp down the virus and end the number of deaths and mortality. You and I are both business people.
That's why I'm asking
Sandra,
you
you're
about
not listening.
This. That's why I'm asking you about this. I'm looking at your
let's talk about crisis management.
Nobody can hear us.
You're talking over me, though.
Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
This is your exact words from an interview in 2016 supporting Donald Trump. If you lower those taxes, corporate taxes, and make us more competitive with the rest of the world, you will create incentive for people to stop leaving the United States. You'll stop corporations from doing tax inversion. You were so passionate about that being such a central focus of the Trump campaign. And this time around, you're supporting a candidate that is talking about raising that corporate tax rate by more than 10%. And raising taxes on anybody making over $400,000.
You're not letting me talk. I think you brought me on here to be a crash dummy, I think. Okay, I'm a patriot. I'm supporting the country. I'm supporting the health of the citizens of the country. I love the people of the United States. I don't use them as props at rallies and leave them in the dust in 40-degree windy weather. Okay, I love the country. You got to heal the country first and make the people better. Once you do that, the economy's going to boom.
What's the answer?
What
is he saying he's going to do?
Very simply, we're going to start listening to the scientists, okay, and we're going to start doing things like the South Koreans did.
What does that mean? If he's elected tomorrow, what do we see from a Joe Biden presidency? How does he make the situation better? If you're saying that the central focus is COVID-19.
Well, first of all, whatever happened to the coronavirus task force, okay, they're going to lay out a plan that is similar to the best. Sandra, you won't let me talk. You know, if you let me talk, we'll move a couple more voters. It's going to be a landslide anyway. But if you're not going to let me talk,
knocking Trump's plan. But what's Joe Biden's plan?
You won't let me talk. You're going to have a coronavirus task force. You're going to use the best practices like they use in South Korea and other nations that have carefully contained the virus. And we're going to shut the virus down and leave the economy open.
I have one
the
last
economy
question for you.
will heal alongside of the health of the American people. It's very, very simple.
I think the details
you
are
can't
vague,
have
and
this.
that's
You'll have hundreds of thousands of more people dying under Trump's health care plan. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to die, Sandra.
You're touting Joe Biden as the candidate after saying this in 2016. What the media is getting wrong about Mr. Trump, he's not a classically trained politician where he grew up in the political system for 35 years. You are telling people to vote for a candidate who has been, Joe Biden. Final thoughts.
I am telling people to vote for the institutions of our democracy. The president had 4 years. He's blown the economy. He's made us sicker. He's trying to destroy the Western post-World War II alliance. Look at the 4-year track record. There's a reason why you're getting the vote. You've got 18 to 25 million people in addition to voting this year versus 2016 because of the wreckage that Mr. Trump, President Trump, has caused in our society. When the facts change, Sandra, you change your mind. That's what really smart people do, and that's why they're waiting online for 6, 7, 8 hours.
Policy talk.
Okay, come on.
The issues when it comes to Joe Biden. I hear a lot of. I'm out of time, but
Sandra, what are you talking about? Sandra, it's very simple. It's a very simple thing. Heal the people, rebuild the economy. Extra stimulus, 7.5 million jobs, more than the Trump plan.
It's easy for you to say
that. That is a really good plan.
All right. We'll have you back.
What are you talking about, Sandra? Come on. I made my money. I made my money starting from nothing, Sandra. I want to help the people that have nothing
the number one
have
issue
something.
For a lot of Americans.
That is the American dream, Sandra. Okay, we got to work on this thing together. We've made this thing very uneven. Okay, we got to work on it together. And I'm a patriot. I love the country, Sandra. I'm not interested in my own self-interest. I love the country. The guy is wrecking the institutions of the American democracy. You know it. I know it. And the good news is more than 2/3 of the people know it, Sandra.
It's an opportunity
you'll
for
watch
voters.
this thing get lit up.
They hear that?
You'll watch it.
And
they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, they know.
Anthony Scaramucci,
they know.
thank you.
They know there's something wrong, Sandra. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.